Hey everyone, I hope that you've had a great week. I want to talk about 5 common questions, and actually it comes to be not just questions, but things that have come up in this week. So the first thing that I want to talk about is actually 3 parts to showings. The first part being the showing rule of only bringing one other person in the house with you. There is some talk that this rule has not been really well followed. And I just want to encourage all of you. I realize that it is a difficulty, but what we do know is that if you are reported to the MLS, they have not yet, but they could impose fines and disciplinary action against you for not following that rule. In addition to the fact that there is concern that if too many people start breaking the allowances that have been given by Governor Inslee, that he will pull back on those restrictions. And so I just want to encourage you. I realize it's a challenge, but let's just do our part and our best to follow and abide by those rules. The other parts to showings that I want to talk about are, I had one agent reach out this week and say that the listing agent stated that the sellers were requiring that anybody touring the home wear a mask. And he wanted to know if that was a rule. And it is not a rule in Washington state that is mandated that masks be worn. However, I will say that we do need to be very careful with respecting the showing requests of a seller in their home. So if they're asking that you wear a mask, gloves, whatever, I would do my best to provide those things to my my buyers, to make sure that we are helping everyone feel as comfortable as they need to in this situation. And then the third is a lot of listings are having showing forms that are asking things like, have you been in contact with anybody who has confirmed case of COVID? Are you running a fever? Things of that nature. And we're seeing a lot of those forms being attached to listings at the request of either the listing agent and or the sellers. And we had one situation come up this week where the buyers were actually required to put their name and signature on that form. And it's the first time we'd seen that. And I want to let you know that I did reach out to the Northwest MLS legal team, and it is not a HIPAA violation for them to ask that. They actually legally can ask for a name and signature. So if you see those in the future, and then on the other flip of that, if those are forms that you would like access to include in your listing to help your sellers feel more confident in having people tour their homes, I'm happy to help get those to you. So that was 3 things. I actually have 6 today. So number 4 is appraisals. We had heard some rumors that appraisers were decreasing their amount between 3 and 7%. And this came from someone who works with investors that had heard through some people that's what appraisers were talking about. I reached out to a couple of lenders and could not get any validation of that rumor at all, which leads me to what I really want to talk about, and that is the validity of rumors that are going on out there. Not only are we hearing lots and lots of things that are just not true, but we're also hearing of some scams that are starting to happen. And so I just want to caution you that if something doesn't sound right or you're not sure, to do some investigation on your own to find out the validity of what you're hearing. If it's not coming from a valid source and you can't verify it, then I wouldn't be sharing that with other people. My 5th thing is on the SBA and unemployment update. SBA has announced that they have run out of funds for the disaster relief and that the government is working on additional funding. So if you did not get an approval from your application, it might take a little bit of time. And then as far as the unemployment, please watch my video from earlier this week that talked about the fact that you will get a denial, and that is on a state level. They now, by Monday the 20th, when you reapply, you will be applying under a federal disaster relief, and that should then kick in for your approval. With independent contractors, it has been stated that there will be some verification of income that's required, and so be aware of that. And we're not sure what that looks like at this point, but as we know, we'll let you know. And then the last thing that I want to talk about really quick is the announcement that landlords cannot evict until that stay has been further. I think June 4th is the new date for that. And I just want to talk a little bit about how that might impact the market, the real estate market. And I think there are two things. One, I think that there are some people who are holding investment properties and have tenants who may wait to list their property, but it might have been in their spring plan to do so because they're in a position where they cannot get tenants out. But I also think that this might be an opportunity for landlords who are just kind of teetering on the edge of frustration owning investment properties to potentially just kind of want to be done when this is over. So I think it's a great time to market and to reach out to people that you know are absentee owners and see if there is a possibility in helping them sell their investment property. We all know that we are still very, very inventory short, and so there's a huge demand for listings right now. The listings that we've seen come live are turning around really quick with offers. So that's all I have for you this week. I hope that you've all had a great week. I hope that if you've been on our Facebook page, you have seen what I did this last week was the emotions and words of a day. And so we talked about staying calm, being optimistic and taking advantage of opportunities, having vigor in our everyday life, being inspirational, and having determination. And those letters spell out COVID. So I hope that in this week ahead, every time you hear COVID, you will think of those words and it will uplift you in your day-to-day. So have a good one. We're here for you if needed. Bye.